Best abandoned carts email sequence explode your conversions.
Alright, so let's get into the abandoned cart recovery automation. So some facts, and don't worry, I'm not going to get deep into this, but just for you to understand why you need to be using abandoned carts, and even if you're already using them, why you really need to put in some time to optimize them, because they actually do mean a lot. So 75% of the people abandon their carts on average. That is a lot of people, a lot of sales that you are losing out. And it seems that somewhere around on 10% on average, you can 10% from these people that abandoned, you can actually recover them and get still sales from them. So when you think about it, I don't know what numbers you're doing, but it probably is a lot of money. And the beautiful thing about this is that you can set up automation tools. So you set up abandoned, you create the abandoned cart automation once, and that's it. And then it is running for you for the rest of your life. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to do any extra work. And the automation setup is not that long. Check out the free course I have. I think it basically just takes you maybe 15 minutes or so. So it's really not that difficult.
By the way, I created a blueprint for the best business model out there, so check the description.
So a couple of reasons why people actually abandon their carts. First of all, extra costs too high. So perhaps if you have shipping, had to create an account, longer complex process, can't see total cost, or just simply getting distracted while doing something else, or just thinking, okay, I'm looking at this on my phone and later I'm gonna buy it on computer. So there are a lot of different reasons why people give up, and you can help them. For example, if they think, oh, the price is just too much, perhaps you can give them a discount. If they think, okay, if they see that the shipping is too expensive, perhaps you can provide free shipping for them. Or if they just got distracted, perhaps you can just remind them. So let's just get into it. So the first email, once someone has abandoned your cart, what you want to do, you want to send out sort of a reminder for them. So the reminder should be 1 hour after, and there are different opinions when exactly, but I've been reading a lot of studies, and it seems that that is the optimal time. 1 hour after the cart has been abandoned, you send out your first email, and it should be really just simple reminder in case if they left the cart unintentionally, because you don't want to jump straight into, hey, get this discount, do that, because sometimes you will recover carts without giving any discount. You will see. So you don't want to start giving discounts without actually knowing the reason why they abandoned the cart.
By the way, I have created a document of 50 best growth hacks used by the biggest marketers out there. Check the link below.
So let me show you a couple of subject line examples. And when you write the subject line example for the first email, and it's going to be different a little bit for the other emails, but for the first email, you want to somehow catch their attention. So yes, you can put a simple, you abandoned your cart, or we saved your cart. It works, but you might want to try out to do something a little bit more cheeky. So for example, we're ready if you're ready. So that kind of piques your, your interest. What exactly is this? Who's exactly messaging me? And what exactly does that mean? It seems a little bit confusing, and you might think that this doesn't make sense, but people actually click on emails like that because they're just simply curious what it means. Your cart is wondering where you went. So this kind of tells that, okay, this is my e-commerce cart, but it's just like a funny way. So kind of just being a little bit more interesting and not just boring, even though you're getting sort of straight to the case. Is your Wi-Fi okay? So this is almost taking it to the extreme, because people are so confused, and how is this to do anything with abandoned carts? But it's a really good, funny line, because people might catch their attention. What is wrong with my Wi-Fi? And then they open and they see, oh wow, it's this company. So pretty good one. Oh no, your stuff, again, kind of like a shock factor. Let me teleport you back to your cart free of charge. So again, just kind of being a little bit cheeky. So just a few examples, but I hope you get the main idea. You want to be sort of interesting, you want to catch attention, you want to be funny. Even if even you tell them that, oh yeah, it's your cart, it's something that you were just shopping about, it's just better to introduce that in a little bit more interesting manner. So, email body examples, and I'm not going to go too deep into this. For the first email, honestly, I would suggest to be fairly simple, keep it pretty short, and kind of go straight to the case. Don't write a whole essay and don't put a bunch of information that's overwhelming. You want to kind of just have a few sentences and then have the products. And obviously there are a lot of different things. You can put testimonials and all that kind of stuff. We'll go into that a little bit later. But here, just to give you a couple of things. So you might want to write a text, something like, you've been playing hard to get with the item in your shopping cart. Something like that, like a cheeky, not just like, oh, you forgot your cart. So something like this. Let me teleport you back to your shopping cart. Again, this is what was in the subject line, but if you don't have it in subject line, you might want to use that within the text, within the body text of your email. We noticed you left something behind. No need to worry, we have saved your items, blah blah blah, whatever that is. So something like this, instead of just writing a simple text, hey, you abandoned these items in your cart, go back, finish the purchase. It doesn't really sound interesting. So you want to create sort of like a brand. You want to create a vibe that your brand has. So write something like that, or something like, we are so bummed out that you don't want to be friends with us and you didn't finish this, but you can still rekindle our friendship. Something stupid like that actually works because you want to kind of build connection with your customers. So let me show you a quick example of a very simple email and what that could look like. So forgot something, as you can see, they're using a picture, and this picture is basically just like a funny picture, and this just makes that email a little bit more interesting. So when they see that, they might be more willing to open your next email, and that's what you want. You want to engage your audience, that they start opening your emails and you have high opening rates. That's one mistake that a lot of people do. They're just like, oh, either people open or not open. Once they open, whatever. So as you can see, a little meme, forgot something, and then we notice you left something behind. No need to worry, we save the items in your cart so you can easily complete your purchases. And then it has the item that someone abandoned and just a button, return to your cart. And it's as simple as that, very, very simple. You can put a little bit more than this, but this is just a good, simple example of what the first email should look like. So another example of an email, and this is a little bit more. We've saved your bag. Then it shows the item, and this is creating a little bit of urgency. Shop it now before someone else does. So this is creating an urgency, and it's fine to put the urgency in the first email. Also, you might not want to do it in the first, you might want to do it a little bit later. So it is kind of like you might want to A/B test that and see how it performs. But just to show you an example, a little bit different example. Again, very simplistic email, and just big letters, we've saved your bag, we saved your cart, and then just a little bit of urgency. So, second email. Second email should come a little bit later, and again, people like different times, but based on a lot of studies of what I know, it seems that the best time to send that is 24 hours after the first email. So basically 1 day after the first email. And what you want to do in the second email, you actually want to give some sort of incentive, because if they didn't take that step with the first email, there probably is some reason. So one of those reasons might be price, or at least you might give them a better price and that might change their mind. And obviously I'm not saying that you should go straight away and give a discount. I think that works really well, but I know for some brands, if you really don't want to give a discount, then maybe don't put it in the second email, maybe put it in the third email. But what works well, I'm just telling you what works well, and giving out an incentive, whether it's that, perhaps it's free shipping or something like that, or perhaps if they buy that item, they get some sort of freebie. So, you can be creative about it, but some sort of incentive. And also, if you want, you can put something like testimonials as well. So just to put a little bit extra, from the first email, go a little bit deeper. So, subject line examples, and these subject line examples can apply for both the second email and the third email as well. So only for you, 10% discount. So very, very basic, but the basic actually works. As you can see, the last thing as well, 10% off purchase. So basic, but actually a lot of studies show that these very basic things work really well. So even if you're not doing like a basic thing, even if you're doing more like a cheeky, funny thing, you probably should still put in numbers. You probably should still put in 10% off, at least something like that. But just to show you a little bit more, so if that doesn't seem to work for you, what you can do is do something a little bit like it's disappearing, what's happening. So something like this really catches someone's attention and creates a lot of curiosity, because if you check your mailbox, you probably have a lot of emails, 10% off, and after some time you might just be bored of opening those emails. But if you see something like this, a subject line like this, you are going to be curious of what is this. So you want to make a deal, again, a little bit different example, but sort of creates a curiosity, like what is this, what's happening, who is emailing me this, and what exactly they mean. So a few different examples. It can be something like this. Okay, so let me show you a couple of real life examples. So this is an example of a very, very simple card. And honestly, it's not, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of this design, but one thing why I wanted to show you this, what they did right and what I see a lot of people don't do right, they put, because they emphasize on the discount, so they put really a lot of emphasis, like a big number, 15% off. So very, very simple, just a little text, 15%, and then go back to my cart. They didn't even show the products, which is an interesting choice. But yeah, they did also hurry up. The offer is gonna end soon, so some urgency in that, but just emphasizing a lot on, hey, get this discount. So a different type of example, still tossing and turning. So a little funny line, which it's always good to start with something funny, something humorous, and then maybe 10% off plus free shipping will help. Activate 10%. So as you can see here, what I was talking about before, they put that 10% fairly small compared to everything else. They put it fairly small. It's not too bad or anything in this. Like some people put it really, really small. So in this, it's kind of actually pretty good. But so what they did is they combined the discount, and they also combined some testimonials. So as you can see, kind of trying to sell a little bit more, showing some pictures and the reviews from the people. But besides that, also as you can see, there isn't really anything much after that. Call us, email us, the footer, and that is it. So very simplistic, but this actually works really, really well. So the third email should go out 48 hours after. And again, a lot of people disagree with this or have different opinions, but that's from what I have found. 48 hours after your second email, you should send out your third email. So basically give 2 days for people to open that email and see if they want that offer or not. So again, in the third email, if you haven't given an incentive yet, you should give an incentive in the email, or perhaps you should even bump up the incentive. So let's say if in the second email you gave 10% discount, then perhaps in the third email you want to give 15% discount for those people that didn't bother to make the purchase with a 10% discount. And also here you might, and you can do this in the second email as well, but here you might want to amp things up a little bit. So you might want to create a little bit more scarcity, and perhaps also put in recommendations like what you saw in the email before. And also, because this is third email and they didn't take any action in the first and the second email, so perhaps you're not as crazy about the product, so you might want to recommend other products to them. This can work different ways. You don't want to be overwhelming. That's why I've been saying that you should keep everything fairly simple and you shouldn't go too crazy. But you know, when it's third email, you can try to be a little bit more playful and offer other options. So this is an example email of what that could look like. Not exactly what you were looking for. So it shows the abandoned cart products. And at the bottom, as you can see here, or maybe try these instead. And then it shows recommended products that might be something similar to what they abandoned. And again, this is a little bit complicated because you don't usually want, if someone's about to make a decision, you don't want to distract them at all. But if you think that, okay, they're probably not gonna make the purchase, or perhaps even like do this after the third email, if they really didn't make that decision within the third email, you might want to do this with the fourth email. Then again, you don't want to send 10 emails of just abandoned cards because people will get bored of those, but just something to keep in mind. So one last bonus email, something I don't really see people talk much about when it comes to abandoned cards, but this can work really, really well. So what I'm talking about, and this, by the way, works for stores that are selling one product. This works really well. It can work for, I guess, stores that sell a lot of products as well. You might just want to do it in a slightly different manner, but I guess sort of similar concept could work. But for one product, this works really well. So what you're doing is, in your email, you sort of want to send like a little landing page or something like a funny landing page. So it doesn't even have to be the real, let me actually just show you an example, and I think it's going to make more sense. You also might want to include some reviews or like combination of those together. So let me show you an example. I don't know if you can actually see this, but what this is, it's basically a subscription box for whiskey, and still thinking about it. And what they did here is they showed sort of all of the benefits of what you can expect or why you should be getting this item. And at the bottom, as you can see, they also have questions, answering people's questions. So the most common questions they get, I'm assuming. So a couple of things they wrote: try new whiskey every month, put together an army of miniature bottles and fight, drink them while winning at poker. So as you can see, it's sort of a sales page, but at the same time, it's just a funny thing. They're not taking it serious. So it's kind of selling it to you, but honestly, it's just saying fun things why you think they think you should purchase, and you can kind of mix those things. You can put a couple of funny things and a couple of actual things why they should purchase that product. The best is probably, you don't want to just, if you already had, let's say, a landing page explaining all the features and all the selling points and why people really need that product, you don't want to be putting exact same information in the email. You want to switch it up a little bit, and I think they did a really good work switching it up. So hopefully you got the main points of what you should have in your abandoned cart. So I hope you find this useful, and if you're not doing abandoned cart email sequence yet, make sure to do that, otherwise you're just losing out on money. And as I said, I do have a free course where I actually show you how to use the software, how to do everything step by step. So there's going to be a link down below. Check it out, you're not going to regret it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more content like this. Press thumbs up on this video. Stay awesome, and I'll see you soon.